Hi, this is Ashley. I'm here with Bryan Glover, and this is a real conversation. And
I feel like I've had momentum going in a certain direction, and now I just feel like scrapping the whole thing. I'm like,
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I'm like,
Honey, I just did it like the last 3 months. I totally get it. I completely get it. And it's okay. I mean,
yeah,
you know, it's like, I think it gets you back to truth, back to like what's real for you, what's so for you. I mean, I know that for me, oh my God. I mean, I just got like stopped in such a big way, just such a huge way. I mean, I was just in fetal position crying a lot. And, you know, here I created all these things, and it's like,
yeah, right.
it's like what I've come to realize and learn is that it doesn't matter, you know, when we get in the way of ourselves, that, you know, you've set an intention greater than this moment. And in order for you to line up to it, you know, shit gets real. And it's like, shit gets stirred up in a way that it's like, oh my God, wait, I thought blue was blue. And I thought red was red. And I thought I knew what I was doing, and I knew where I was going. And I had like, and it, for me, it just, you know, it was like such a shaking of the core of me. And, you know, I hear that in you. So I'm smiling out of, I feel you.
I know. Red is like dandelion yellow. I'm like, what? I thought I knew what I was doing. I thought I knew which direction I was going in. I started to involve the people around me in the direction I was moving. And now I'm like, well, do I just keep trucking and keep going in this direction? But I feel like I should just completely pursue a different passion now.
What do you want? Like, what feels good right now?
I want what Michelle Lowbridge and I were talking about in Key West.
Okay.
I want a Broadway style, law of attraction based performance, one-man show. I want to be able to deliver my story in a performance.
Awesome.
And so for years, as I was growing up, I did theater growing up, and everyone's like, oh my God, you touched my heart with your performance. You're amazing. And then I went to college, and I was a voice major, and I was on my way. And then I got kicked out of college for being gay. And I mean, and it completely derailed my whole direction. So then I'm like, okay, well, I found this new passion, fitness and transformation and helping people get in touch with their bodies. Oh, I'm so into this. I brought David in, and we started working together, and oh, this is huge. And it's belief to body, and it's going to be great. And it's just, we haven't really taken the action steps we needed to take for whatever reason. And I had a conversation with, you know, a good friend the other day, and she's like, why aren't you performing? Why aren't you, you know, I feel like that's really what you should be doing. You've just amazed me with your charisma and your song and your story. And I'm like, I don't really know. And, you know, recently there's been local musicians that have wanted to collaborate with me and wanted to work together. I've had someone who was going to put me in touch with the owner of Charleston Performing Arts Center. And I'm like, why am I getting all these signs and clues to go in a completely different direction than where I've had momentum going the past year? you know? So maybe it's all intertwined, you know? You know me, I'm a firm believer in, okay, well, it's all working together. All these random dots that are kind of being put on the paper, like this complex dot to dot that I have no idea what's going on. But when it all gets put together, it's going to be magnificent. But I wish I could just start connecting at least a few dots around here. You know, and with everything that's happening, like I thought of moving back to Huntsville. You know, they want me to go back to Huntsville. But then I feel like that would be good, but I would almost feel even more derailed at that point because, you know, it's like here's how I feel. I feel like I get going on something, I start feeling good about it, and then I just stop. It's like when I get to that 3 feet from gold moment,
yeah,
it's like I can't seem to find a way to push through and just do it.
Yeah.
And it's so frustrating.
Yeah. I get it. I get it. I mean, I have the same disease. I mean, you know, but what I do believe is that each time you're getting closer to your truth, you're getting closer to the heart of you, you know, and the only way you can get to a place that's going to feel completely you and like in every way is for you to try everything. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like without you walking in the direction that you've walked the last year, how would you know what you would feel about it? How you can't.
Right.
You know, I could tell you all day long about, you know, all these different career paths you could take and all these different things you could start. And we could get excited about like 10 different things, but to know them and feel them and experience them in your body is to do them.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's really no wrong. And like you said, it's not about, you know, everything you're talking about, it's in alignment with each other. You know, you're not like, I want to be a doctor and well, now I want to be a trainer. You know, it's like, it's all within the scope of what makes your heart sing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
right.
so if you're at a place where there's some resistance around belief to body and what was, you know, heading in that direction, then just hit the pause button and just say, okay, I'm going to put this down right now and I'm going to pick up, you know, performing. I'm going to pick that up. So what can I do to move in that direction, you know? And people like us, it's not about the big giant leaps that you can take. It's what little steps can you take right now? Like, what can you do? What are things that you can do to move in that direction? And again, you're just pressing the pause button. You're pressing the pause button on that, and you're giving yourself space and grace to go, okay, what do I want? And you have to be careful in this moment because you're susceptible to so many things because you're like, oh, what do I want? That a lot of people are going to offer a lot of things to fill that void for you, right? People are going to be like, oh, you should do this. What about this? What about this? And it's like, oh, well, that sounds good. Well, that sounds good. And so it's such an important time for you to like step back and have sort of a boundary around yourself of, okay, what does Bryan want? What do I want for me? Not about what anyone else needs from you or excitingly wants from you. You know, like people are excited to give you suggestions and to, you know, like, oh, I could say, Bryan, why don't you do this? And you should, this is like your time to step back, meditation, silence, walks on the beach, like sitting there, just going, what is going to make me happy right now? What feels good? What do I want? And from there, take a step. And then it's like, okay, there's no loss of anything. I mean, it's okay. It's totally fine. You went in a direction and now you're like, I don't know if that's I don't think that feels like the direction. Okay. It's okay. It's like giving ourselves permission to know that it's okay. We'll take the load off your back and give you permission to walk in a different direction and feel that and see what comes of it. And, you know, yeah, like what you and Michelle had talked about. What could you do around that? Like, what baby steps could you do to create something for yourself in that realm? You know, can you write the one man show? Can you, you know, perform it free? Can you contact schools? Like, just like what kind of things, you know? And I don't know. And I don't want to put that on you like as things, but just to give yourself the space to feel what you really want will make such a difference.
And being such a passionately curious person anyways, I just want to like,
yeah,
I'm going to try a little bit of this, and then it's like I just can't stay on track, but that's okay.
And that's okay. You know, I mean, you know, I know people who have the same thing, you know, and it's like, don't beat yourself up for it. Like, how amazing that you have so many interests. How amazing that you are hungry for the knowledge and for the experience of life. Like, how that's beautiful. That's not something to be ashamed of. That's something to celebrate. And it's like, okay, what do I want? What do I want? And allow yourself to have it all bubble up and to really be able to sit with, you know, well, what do I want? What do I want to create? You know, it's like we just don't give ourselves that kind of grace. And because of that, we get in situations where we feel like we're living someone else's life, or we're doing, you know, but it was such a great idea. And it's like, but that doesn't matter. If it's not in line with you, and if it's not like lighting your fire, and if it, you know, I mean, there is a point where no matter what you're doing, there's going to be times where it's like, okay, like I got to kind of do the grind a little bit. I got to, like, you know, do the part of what I do that isn't my favorite part, but, you know, got to market it or got to whatever.
Right.
But all under the umbrella of, this is what I'm passionate about. This is what I love, and I'm excited. So yeah, okay, I got to do this today. But there's a difference, you know what I mean? Then it's like a 90-10 versus a 10-90.
Yeah, right.
This little bitty pit, but I have all this stuff that's not even, you know. So.
Oh, you're so beautiful. I just
Love you, baby.
I love you too. Things are, I know that things are working out. It's just, it's a little rough right now.
Yeah, I get that.
A little rough.
I get that.
But it's real, and it's raw, and I'm just like, I've never had to go this raw before. You know what? Because people are excited. I've had some like, oh, Bryan, well, you can do this, and I can help you with that. And I'm like, okay, you know, but I've never.
You're just like this open vessel of like excitement, and yeah, I'm gonna, you know, and it is exciting, and it's great. It's great to get feedback, but where you are in this particular second moment is vulnerable to everything in a way that will bring you down rather than lift you up, because then it's like, oh, I could do that, and not feel the excitement around it, but feel like, oh my God, there's so many things I could do. Then feel, so that's why, you know, my sense is with you right now is just like,
I feel really raw. You know, I feel like I'm that golden Buddha that, you know, everything has just been like stripped away, and I feel so raw and so vulnerable that I really have to pay attention to how I'm feeling about my life and my direction and the people in it, you know?
yeah. And there's no wrong in any of that, you know? Like, I think we forget, like, this is a human experience, and we're never going to stop having moments like this. They're just going to look differently. and they're going to feel differently, but we're always going to come up against, wait, am I being true to myself? What do I want? Where am I? I mean, it's just because we're constantly changing and growing. So how could we not constantly come to a place where we're looking at our life and going, okay, am I happy about this? Do I need to change things up? You know, and if we're not saying those things to ourselves, then we're probably asleep, you know, and you are the opposite of asleep. You are awake and you're so tactile with life and everything in it. And, you know, that's a blessing and it's a wonderful place to be, even though right now it sucks because you're like at the effect of it, you know. But the truth is that you are an amazing, beautiful human being who just touches people's lives by being with them. You know, you don't have to do anything. And so from a place of you don't have to do anything, it's like, oh, well, then what lights me up? What makes my heart sing? You know, I mean, originally I was calling so that we could do a real conversation about just that play that you bring to life, and it's infectious, you know, and sometimes we just kind of have to go back to our like home base, reel it back in, all of it, you know. I mean, for me, that's what I had to do. I had to take everything. I just had to reel it way back in and go, okay, so who am I?
What's going on?
What do I want? What do I want to create? What do I want in my space? What do I want to feel? And start from there, you know? And it's like, it's kind of like decluttering your mental space and everything around you to a place to get back to, you know, what makes me happy, what makes me feel joy, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Having people like you to talk to brings me so much joy.
I just adore you, Bryan. I mean, from the moment I met you, you have such just this beam of light that it's just present, you know, and it's just so special and it's so infectious. And it's like, don't get in the way of that. You know, don't get in your head about like, oh, I got to do all these things. It's like, you don't need to do all the things. You know, get back to ground zero and like, okay, so what feels good? What's the best way for me to radiate that light? How do I want to show up in this world? What do I want to do? What do I want to like feel? You know, get out of the, I'm sorry, I said, what do I want to do? But it's more of what I want to feel, you know, not the like, oh, I need to go do all these posts and get all this stuff out and make this course but like put that stuff aside and get to the basics of how do I feel joy? You know, what lights you up? What makes your heart sing?
Yeah. Performing makes my heart sing.
Yeah.
I was thinking the other day about what could I just do all day long and not even bat an eye, not even realize that 8 hours has passed. What is that for me? And one day I realized that I had been singing Broadway musicals, dancing around my house for literally like 6 hours. And I was like, and this was the day after. I was like, what could I do all day without even thinking about it? And I was like, oh my God, it's being able to share this light, this energy, this presence that I'm very aware that I have. And I have so many beautiful people around me that will constantly remind me of that. You know, it's like I know that, but I just haven't figured out a way to best get out of the way of that.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm slowly, you know, learning, and I feel like I feel like I'm on the slow track kind of. I mean, I'm not comparing myself or anything, but it's kind of taking a lot for me, and I've been kind of hard on myself. I just recently got nudged awake, a couple years ago. I haven't been on this path very long, and I'm slowly learning, what it is that I'm really supposed to give to the world. What's the best way for me to share this energy that I have? So it's exciting and frustrating and joyful and everything all at once. I feel like I feel like I'm being pulled in more than one direction, and I just want to, but it's affirming every day that I'm right where I'm supposed to be, and I'm growing like an oak tree every day, for my entire life, for 27, 28 years of my life. I was just floating through life, not giving a shit, just going through the motions. And then it's like all of a sudden one day I just woke up and was like, what is happening? What's going on? And so, I say I'm on this slow curve, but I'm like, no, it's every day I'm growing. I'm having these like almost growing pains, like every single day.
Yeah. And and I think that's accurate. Like, I think like you're in a time of assessment. And I think that we all come through periods of that time. And that's where you are right now. And if you could take the pressure off of you, and if you could take the expectation off of you, and just allow yourself the space and the grace to go, oh, okay, it's just time to assess where I am now and renegotiate, giving yourself that ability. It's like we don't give ourselves that either. No, I said I was going to do this. No, I said I was going in that direction. So now I can't change direction. And yeah, I just have to deal with it. It's like, no, you can renegotiate the conversation with yourself and say, okay, I'm going to sit down. I'm going to write it out. Like, what do I want? What, and you keep, how many times you've said, I want to perform in this conversation. So it seems that that's where your heart is. And that's where you've always, since I've known you, gone there. At some point in the conversation, that's your like magic. That's where your eyes light up. Not to say that fitness is a big part of your life, and not to say that fitness is not going to still be a big part of your life.
Right.
It's something that we integrate into our life.
Right.
So you have no idea how that is going to play in effect if you did a one-man show, and how that whole thing could work into it. It's just, you don't know.
Across the stage.
You what?
I could do some back handsprings across the stage.
Exactly.
I'm working on my handstands.
You could break out into a headstand. I mean, I'm sure not many people do that.
Right? People aren't doing this. Yeah.
So the only medicine you need right now, baby, is just permission. To give yourself permission to reassess everything, and it's okay, and give yourself that space to just like, what do I want? Okay, now what do I want? Today's a new day. Whatever you created a year ago, whatever you created 6 months, that's all gone. That's in the past. And you're gonna build from that. You're naturally gonna build from that, but you don't need to worry about the hows right now, and you don't need to worry about the big picture. Just get really simple. What makes my heart sing? What makes me happy? And just take little baby steps in that direction.
True that.
And then you'll just be like, yay, I'm so excited. I have a new, and it doesn't matter that it's a different direction. It's totally cool. It's, it's like we think people have this magnifying glass on us, which they don't, because everyone's thinking about themselves. But we think, you know, like, oh, but you said you were going to do that. Now you changed. You're not who I thought you were. I thought you were, you know,
Yeah, right.
we get this whole story in our head, and it's like, no, it's just not so. What so is when you are lined up to your greater good, your passion, your desires, your joy, that's going to light people up. All of a sudden, it doesn't matter, like, oh, but I thought you were doing that. It's like, no, it's, what are you, oh my God, what are you doing? I want to know, this is amazing. And
Yeah.
that's the way it is. But I gotta go get on this call. But I don't know. I might see what we have in here. I think it was such a great conversation.
I know. I'm like, that's about as real as it gets.
I mean, you know, like I could do an intro that I'm gonna cut in. Hi, this is Ashley. I'm here with Bryan Glover, and this is a real conversation. And I'm gonna cut this in because, wow, we just had a truer than true conversation, and I think that, you know, that's what this is about. Like, this is life. This is what
real.
Experience. This is real. You know, bumping up against things and feeling like you should do this or you should do that because XYZ. The reality is be true to you right now. You know, and that's it. There's no other way other than being frustrated with yourself because you're not doing what you really love.
Yeah, right.
Like, we don't have room for that.
No.
You and I do not have room for that in our relationship.
We got time for that.
No time for that.
And nobody got time for that.
No. So obviously we're going to be doing another real conversation with my sweetheart, Bryan Glover here. And I got to go. I got to go make this call, but I love you so much.
Love you so much.
Talk soon. Okay, baby?
All right, love.
All right. Bye, baby.